Did the prince just show genuine concern for me in front of the woman he's planning to marry? Amelia hurried out of the reception hall, her thoughts spinning from the prince's actions. She shook her head, convincing herself she was overthinking it all. The prince couldn't possibly care less about me. He probably ordered me to go see the doctor because he wanted to impress Paloma, showing her how much he cares for his employees. Amelia kept trying to rationalize his actions as she moved through the hallway until she had an aha moment that made her stop in her tracks. Oh, of course! It's not that he cares about me or even his image. He sent me away because seeing my blood so close to the crabs he was about to eat must have triggered his misophobia. Feeling oddly triumphant with her theory, Amelia continued walking until she saw Mr. Grant, the butler, approaching her. "Miss Amelia," he began, his voice polite but curious, "did your plan work, or has pretending to be a maid proven too inconvenient for the madam?" All the events of the day had left Amelia feeling vulnerable, so Mr. Grant's display of affection caught her off guard and almost made her emotional. She gave him a warm smile. "I really appreciate your concern, Mr. Grant," she said sincerely. "But I assure you it's been an honor to assist the prince and the potential princess." The butler nodded, impressed by her poise. "You are a very sensible young lady," he said, his tone admiring. Amelia smiled softly, accepting the compliment. "I have no delusions about being anything special to Prince Javier just because we share a son," she said, hoping that by saying those words out loud, she would start believing them. "I'm fully aware of the vast chasm between his world and mine. I mean, I'm standing in a palace talking to a butler who just called me madam." She paused, chuckling lightly. "No offense, Mr. Grant, but this is too surreal for me." Mr. Grant laughed gently at her honesty. "None taken, Miss Amelia. I've been in this role long enough to see the magnetism a prince can have on people, especially one as handsome as Mr. Javier." Amelia smiled, but straightened her shoulders, grounding herself. She knew her place, and would refrain from entertaining foolish fantasies while she lived under Javier's roof. "I just have to remind myself to stay grounded," she repeated as she walked towards her bedroom. "And that behind that pretty face is the jerk who ran away from me after getting what he wanted." Amelia spent the rest of the day hiding in her room, retreating from the world outside. From her window, she watched Javier lead Paloma on a leisurely tour of the sprawling estate. Together, they looked like a picture-perfect pair, the prince and his princess-to-be. Her chest tightened as she turned away from the window. A sudden sadness crept into Amelia's heart. If Javier marries Paloma, will Max stop being the center of his world? Will they treat Max as the son of a prince, or will he get ignored once they have children of their own? Max had only just met his dad. Amelia didn't want him to lose their bond. She knew another inevitable truth. She would likely have to leave the estate once Javier married. That meant returning to her old life in her shabby apartment without Max. When Max returned home from his writing lessons that evening, Paloma had already left. Amelia was eager to give her son a big, warm hug to recharge her spirits. Hey, baby, how was your day?" She greeted him, arms open wide. But Max didn't even say hello. His face was sullen as he avoided her hug, ran past her, and went straight to his room. She followed after him. "Max, what's up, sweetheart?" Amelia tried to catch up, but Max was too quick. He locked his door before she could reach him. "Max, open this door right now," Amelia ordered, frustration creeping into her voice. The silence on the other side was deafening. Sighing, she leaned her forehead against the door, realizing she lacked the energy to discipline him. Fine, she muttered. Have it your way. We'll talk after I shower. Half an hour later, Amelia was drying her hair, trying to shake off the day's emotions, when she heard someone approaching. She hoped it was Max coming to apologize, but when she looked up, Javier was standing in her doorway. She frowned. Are you here to scold me for getting spotted in the window and not knowing how to shell a crab? Because I'm really not in the mood. Javier had come intending to discuss the day's events and hear her side, but now didn't feel like the right moment. Actually, I'm here to scan the premises for weapons. Amelia blinked at him. Apparently, one of our maids wielded a king crab as a shiv. He deadpanned. Amelia scoffed, crossing her arms. Whose idea was it to serve crab on a first date? Javier chuckled. It's the traditional dish from her hometown, but it wasn't a date. It was, well, complicated. Amelia wanted to ask what that meant, but figured it wasn't her place to pry about his love life. Amelia went back to brushing her hair. Javier noticed how her silk nightgown softly caught the light. For a brief moment, his gaze lingered over her image in the mirror, mesmerized by how pretty she looked like this, fresh and undone. Amelia caught his eyes in the mirror and felt a flutter in her stomach under the weight of his stare. He stepped closer, his voice soft. How's your hand? She showed him the small bandage around it. Better. It'll take more than one king crab to take me down. At least 3. Javier smiled, then remembered something. I actually came to ask for your help. You need my help with something? She asked, intrigued. This was a first. Max won't open his door. He's very stubborn. I wonder where he gets that from. Amelia sighed and set her comb down. Let's go, she said, steeling herself to face a moody little adversary. Amelia and Javier walked down the hall, shoulder to shoulder, presenting a unified parental front. She caught the familiar scent of amber lingering around him. You still wear that cologne? She commented without thinking of the implications of that thought. A flicker of surprise appeared in Javier's eyes. I thought after 6 years nothing was memorable about that night. Amelia quickly dismissed the thought to avoid a vulnerability trap. I have an olfactory memory. It's nothing personal, she lied. Javier's face betrayed a hint of disappointment, but he said nothing as they reached Max's bedroom. Javier called, his voice deliberately soft. Max? How we doing in there? Just then, Javier reached into his pocket and pulled out a spare key, showing it to Amelia. As a last resort. She nodded, appreciating the gesture of consultation. Inside, Max sat cross-legged on the floor, engrossed in assembling a model airplane. The toy was a gift from Javier, and the box beside him displayed a 12+ age recommendation. But Max was no ordinary 5-year-old. Amelia shot a curious glance at Javier, wondering how he'd approach this. She knew her son's moods better than anyone. Max usually needed hours to cool off. But this time, she couldn't shake the worry that something had happened during his first writing lesson. Javier quietly sat down beside Max without a word, while Amelia crouched by the wall, observing the interaction as if she were studying wildlife. After a few minutes, Max struggled with a couple of delicate pieces and handed them to Javier. Javier took them, feigning difficulty before smoothly putting them together and handing them back. Max grinned and pretended to struggle again, passing it back to his father. They continued this playful routine for a while, earning an admiring smile from Amelia. Finally, Max broke the silence. Have you ever built one of these? Javier nodded. Your great-grandfather, the King of Spain, loved building things. When he retired, he and I spent whole afternoons putting together model airplanes, wooden boxes, even firearms. Firearms? Max's eyes lit up with excitement. Can you teach me how to do that? Amelia shot up and broke her fourth wall. Absolutely not, she protested, breaking her silence. Javier ignored her, his focus entirely on Max. Whatever you want to learn, he said warmly. I'll teach you. Max squealed with joy and threw himself into his father's arms, nearly toppling him over. Amelia crossed her arms, annoyed. You're not touching a firearm before you turn 18. Do you hear me, Max? Max, still staring at his father from inches away, pouted dramatically. Do I really have to wait that long? Javier continued to disregard Amelia's protests. No, you won't, he said with a mischievous smile. Once you finish this model, just ask, and I'll teach you how to assemble a weapon. Max beamed and kissed Javier on the cheek, and Amelia's heart ached at the sight. If they're already teaming up against me, how will it feel when Paloma becomes the new woman in their lives? Her stomach churned as a new painful thought surfaced. Javier, Max, and Paloma, as a perfect family of 3, leaving her on the outside. Javier gently lifted Max off his lap and set him on the floor. Now, tell me, how was the riding lesson? Max shrugged. It was okay. I just kept looking to see if you or Mommy would show up to watch me ride, but you didn't. The realization hit both parents simultaneously. Javier reached out to Max. Next time, I'll be there, he promised. Amelia immediately chimed in. Oh, so will I, baby. I'm so proud of you for riding that horse. Tell me everything about it. Max hesitated, then turned to Amelia with wide eyes. Mommy, can you and Daddy sleep here with me tonight? I don't like the thunderstorm. Amelia froze. Was her son really asking her to share a bed with Javier as if they were a regular family? Oh, but Max, there's only one bed in here. Amelia turned to Javier for backup, but to her surprise, he was fine with it. I don't like the thunder either. I'm in. Amelia shot Javier a what-the-hell look. Max's little smile shined bright. Then he turned to his mom with puppy dog eyes. Mommy, come on, I'm in, and Daddy's in too. Don't be a party pooper. Javier gave an amused smirk. Yeah, Mom. Don't poop the party. Amelia glared at Javier, pulling him aside. What are you doing? This is completely inappropriate, she hissed. Javier dismissed her concerns with an easy smile. Relax. It's just for Max. It's not like we haven't slept together before. To find out what happens next, download the Pocket FM app in the next minute to get free access to all episodes of The Royal Accident for free.